Hello, and welcome to another episode of Reading Reddit with Amber. Now, I do have an announcement which may be a little unfortunate for some of you. I am going to be going on hiatus for a bit here, and I'm not sure how long. So I have my first ever instructor position for a course. I was a TA when I was a grad student for many years, but now I'm the course instructor, making my own lesson plans, making lesson plans for my TAs, coordinating everything, and it's a pretty big responsibility. And I have to put my students first. So for the time being, I'm not going to be filming these videos. I don't know if that's going to change soon or not. We will see. But I just wanted to give you an update. So if you don't see videos from me for a bit, that's what's going on. Thank you so much to everyone who subscribed and who's tuned into these videos. I hope you've had a lot of fun with them. I do want to make more in the future. Just right now, I'm a little overwhelmed with work, so I'm going to be taking a break for a bit. Anyway, I still have one more batch of outrageous stories for you from r/amIthejerk. Shout out to the people who sent in suggestions for today's video. Our first story is, am I the jerk for kicking my sister-in-law and brother-in-law out of my house when she said my daughters aren't really mine? I'm a 37-year-old female and I have two daughters. The eldest, Anna, who's 7, is technically the child of my late husband and my sister genetically in that she was carried by a surrogate and made from my late husband's sperm and my sister's donated egg. My younger daughter, Lily, 4 years old, is adopted, and we adopted her a year ago. Originally, we had planned on using another of my sister's eggs, but she passed away 3 years ago in a car accident, and I decided it would be disrespectful to use the eggs of hers we had stored without her permission. My husband passed away a little over a month ago from the virus. It has been very hard adjusting to life without him after 12 years together, and the girls miss their dad terribly. I am lucky that my family was well off when our parents passed away. My sister and I were given nice nest eggs, and I have an excellent job that pays mid-six figures that I thank our lucky stars for every day. Shortly after my husband's death, his brother and wife reached out to me asking if they could stay with me for a couple of months, as brother-in-law had lost his job and they could no longer afford their flat. In addition, their young baby had a bad lung infection that was draining every spare cent they had. My house is only 4 bedrooms, but of course I let them move in. They were problems from the start. Sister-in-law tried to demand that I and Lily give up our co-joined rooms so they could have them for the baby. Brother-in-law got nosy about my husband's life insurance and sulked when he found out he wasn't one of the beneficiaries. They both, being vegan, complained about me cooking meat and other animal products. I tried to turn a blind eye, knowing they were probably just stressed and sleep-deprived from the baby. The problem came last weekend when they approached me asking for some of my daughter's inheritance. Most of my husband's life insurance went into a college fund for our daughters, and they know this, to pay for their son's care. I declined, but offered to tap into the nest egg that my parents/sister had left me to pay for some of it. They then just asked why I couldn't pay for all of it since I was well off, and I gently explained that just because things were okay now, I wanted to plan for the worst case, not the best. They got angry and started yelling, and in front of Lily they said that really neither of my daughters had any claim to the money since they weren't really my daughters and that I was selfish for not supporting them. I immediately told them to pack and go to their parents. I said they had 24 hours to be out or I would evict them, and that I was sick of listening to them complain. They left shortly after, but now I'm being called a terrible person for kicking out a young child, and I feel really guilty. Am I the jerk here? Not the jerk. It sounds like OP has been practically a saint putting up with their BS for so long. You are not obligated to let people who continually harass you for money and demean your family continue living with you just because they procreated. And they have other family they can stay with, so it's not even like OP is throwing them out on the street. Our next story is, am I the jerk for ordering pizza to my boyfriend's parents' house when they threw me a birthday party dinner with no food that I could eat? I am stuck in a different state than my family and friends right now due to the virus, so on my birthday, my boyfriend and his parents were going to throw me a small party. Just me, my boyfriend and his little siblings, and his parents. A super low-key dinner. I'm a vegetarian, I have been for 13 years, it's not anything new or anything that people don't know. So when I went to their house and saw them cooking pasta with baking pieces and cooking up veggies in the bacon grease pan, I realized there was nothing I could have except beer, and I was hungry. I reminded them that I don't eat meat, and they were like, "You can pick the bacon bits out. They're just sprinkled on top, and give them to your boyfriend. He'll eat anything. And we made vegetables that you can eat too." I didn't want to pick meat out of the pasta or eat vegetables that were cooked in bacon fat, so I said I wasn't sure. I didn't like meat flavor at all. I might have something else. They said there was hardly any bacon grease in the pan. While they had used it for bacon, they just didn't wash in between, but I wouldn't even taste it. Then I ordered a pizza to their house, and when it arrived, his parents were mad and upset that I had. I said I mentioned that I wasn't eating meat, so I might get my own food. My boyfriend and I left early and went out ice skating, so the day turned out fine, lol. Am I the jerk for ordering pizzas? Not the jerk. If you offer to make someone a birthday dinner, you shouldn't use ingredients you know that they can't eat. Pasta is easy to make vegetarian. If they really wanted meat in their portion, they could have either had 2 separate sauces, one with meat and one without, or had the bacon bits separate from the sauce and let people spoon them in. They didn't offer Opie anything she could actually eat, just expected her to bend her morals to appease them, so I don't see anything wrong with Opie ordering food that she could actually eat. Our next story is, am I the jerk for blowing up at my boyfriend, quote, just because he was ignorant? His words. I'll try to keep this short. I'm a 29-year-old female, and I slept over at my boyfriend's, 23-year-old male's, place, and I unexpectedly got my period during the night, irregular cycle. He freaked out. I was embarrassed and offered to wash the sheets. He wasn't having any of it, and basically told me that I must be irresponsible and disgusting, yelling the whole time. At that point I got annoyed too, and told him he was acting like a real jerk. I went to take a quick shower and was about to go home when he stopped me to continue the argument. I explained to him that I can't control when they happen, that they can be irregular as heck, and that they're not that gross. He was talking about throwing away the sheets. The stain wasn't even that big, and I put them in the washer before I showered. He told me that he didn't know those things and that I'm unreasonable for being mad at him just for a misunderstanding, and that he couldn't have known since they didn't teach him that in school. Obviously, I'm not mad at him for not knowing. I'm mad at him for assuming he knew better and reacting by yelling at me. He's mad because I'm mad, and he thinks I can't be mad about ignorance since it's not his fault. I apologize for calling him a jerk, but he doesn't want to apologize for yelling. Am I the jerk? I only want him to apologize for yelling. Not the jerk. Even if the boyfriend doesn't understand how periods work, that doesn't give him the right to shout at OP and call her irresponsible and disgusting. Instead of trying to talk to her and sort out what was going on, he just started making assumptions and yelling, and that's a jerk move. Our final story is, am I the jerk for wanting a redo of my wedding that was ruined 5 years ago? I'm a 30-year-old female, and I have been married to my husband, a 32-year-old male, for almost 5 years. Our 5th wedding anniversary is coming up in April, and I suggested that we have a redo of our wedding because it was awful the first time around. Just know sister-in-law always had comments to make about the planning, my dress choice, food, etc. There are some members on my side who struggle with alcoholism, who snuck in vodka and other drinks to my alcohol-free reception. Soon everyone was drinking, which, while I was upset, was willing to deal with since it made them happy and have fun. However, things took a turn when the alcoholics didn't know when to stop. During pictures, my uncle vomited all over the main table where I, my husband, mother, father, mother-in-law, and father-in-law were to be seated. They had to clean the entire table, floor, and remake the table in time for dinner. We had to pay extra for the damages, sigh. There were also racist comments from husband's side. I am African American and he is white. Just know brother-in-law said he was worried about N-word blood getting into the family, said with a hard R too. We have never heard any such comments from them before, so my husband was also shocked and hurt that he was ever associated with such ignorance. Shortly after the wedding, my husband and I took note of the ugliness that came out from our families and slowly cut them out of our lives and or reduced contact. We moved in together shortly after, away from both families, and we've been happy ever since. We also both went into therapy since the wedding also brought out some of our negativity and unresolved mental health issues. The current situation has been hard on us. We both work from home now, and I will admit there have been a few moments when both of us seemingly snap at each other for no reason, only to find out later it's a lot of built-up stress in our lives. We always talk it out, make up, and promise to do better for the sake of our marriage and each other. Last night, I brought up that I wanted a redo of our wedding. He asked why, and I reminded him of the things mentioned above, and more, and thought it would be nice to have a little ceremony in our yard that only consisted of a few friends and family. It isn't like we can have too many people anyway due to global issues. I still fit into my wedding dress and thought it would be a nice way to relive our moment without so much toxicity from both sides. Also, my father is getting older and probably doesn't have much time left on this planet. I want one of his final memories to be fun and beautiful without negativity. My husband exploded on me. Why do you want to waste money? He asked. He listed off things that would have made sense if we were tight on money, but we aren't. In fact, this current situation has increased profits for my husband's business, and we are very fortunate, grateful, and blessed. However, I was willing to listen to his reasons and compromise until he called me stupid for ever thinking about wanting a redo of something that was, quote, obviously going to be a disaster again. Am I the jerk? Not the jerk. It sounds like the redo wedding OP wants wouldn't even necessarily be costly. If it's a handful of family and friends in the backyard and they did a potluck or even an inexpensive catering service, then that could be pretty affordable. But even if OP had proposed having an elaborate do-over wedding, blowing up on her would not have been acceptable. It sounds like there's something deeper going on here, and it would probably be worth talking over this idea and the husband's reaction the next time the OP's in therapy. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, consider giving it a like or letting me know in the comments. Thank you so much for tuning in to these videos. Again, I'm not sure how long I'll be on hiatus for, if it'll be a few weeks or not, but I would love it if you continue to subscribe and keep your eyes out. I do want to get back to these at some point in time, or, something similar. But thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. And I hope you have a great day and great year. Hope 2021 goes better for you. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.